Today on Living by the Law, we dive back into the universe of Warhammer 40k as we discuss the chittering hordes, the encroaching hive mind, and the eternal entropy that is the Tyranids. This episode will contain minor spoilers to some elements of the Warhammer 40k universe.
One of my friends has a interesting habit, you might say. And I've got permission to talk about this.
Oh, good. Oh, I'm glad.
Because I had to talk about it.
Legally, I got shivers down my spine when you did start talking about that.
They have a thing where they will watch a movie or a TV show or they've said audiobook included, book included kind of thing, series included kind of thing, where they will just never finish something.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I'm pretty bad
for example,
at that.
They will, if there was 5 books in a series, they'll read 4.
Yeah.
If there are 10 episodes in a series, they will watch 9.
Yeah.
If there are how many hours in audiobook, they'll end literally they talk half an hour before it ends. It's an interesting. I can't do it.
I respect it, and I think that Arcane would have been better if I had done that. Not watching the last episode would have been good.
Yeah.
I will say I have. Yeah, it's kind of psychopathic in a weird way, but there's another angle of psychopathic that my girlfriend's younger brother does, because I'm living currently in the same house as him. I'll come downstairs. He, I swear to God, starts a series and it just runs the whole thing, like day to day. And he's been on school holidays recently. So I watched him first munch the entire thing of House. The whole thing.
That's a
all
lot.
Seasons.
That's
I
crazy.
then realized that the TV had changed. He'd watched Suits. Back to back, that whole fucking thing. He's on to Seinfeld now. God knows how he fucking picks. He's a man of culture by the set I've been given. But how a person sits down and goes, yes, the next 12 episodes of this series I'm going to sit here and watch.
To be fair, I'm pretty bad right now. If say like 3 episodes of a series will come out at the same time, I kind of have to sit there and watch it all. I'm very bad. If it's out, I'll watch it. I'm very bad at control when it comes to episodes like that.
You say now. I feel like that's always been a thing with you in like media content. You either like consume all of it immediately or just won't touch it.
Yeah.
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 I mean, honestly, sometimes it's one of those things, you just eyeball something, you're like, not for me.
I'm not very good at watching one episode and then saying, that's enough for the night.
That's fair. I'm pretty bad at not shows, especially. I'm really bad at not finishing. My brain can't even.
Sorry, I need to clarify. You're bad at not finishing, as in you do finish them?
No,
or
I'm bad at finishing.
You're bad
Sorry.
because you don't finish.
Yeah,
You're bad at finishing.
I'm bad. As I said, with shows.
Right into the trap, baby.
I said shows.
He did.
Got him on tape.
It's on. I said shows. You nearly got me there. That's a separate issue. We'll talk about that next.
He pulled himself out of the trap and dove straight back in. Respect, soldier.
Talk about that on the Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon special. You can hear about our erectile dysfunction.
Our erectile is the communal.
Yeah.
Happens to the best of us.
Happens to all 3 of us.
Exactly.
Together.
Yeah, we fucking struggle.
Jesus Christ, this is going to get demonetized so fast.
Speaking of things that are functional and work together really well,
Yes.
Goated. Yeah.
we're going back to 40k, guys.
There's no screen needed. That was straight on. That was a direct line.
He just
40K.
He did mid-stop a sentence and start a new sentence.
Yeah,
to
well,
go
I lost steam. Guy, you're being kinder to me right now.
Yeah.
Well, you just bullied me for interrupting a sentence.
Yeah,
so,
40K,
Guy,
40K fantasy?
You can get 40k, just 40k. You can get the first quote, Guy.
Oh, holy shit, we rip it at the beginning?
Yep. And this will give you a bit of a clue as to what we're in for.
The quote is
45
minutes, maybe trim down the fluff. Yeah.
That's an interesting quote.
That's a good quote.
It's your fluff.
There is a cancer. Oh, wait, hang on, voice.
Give me an experienced but scared scientist who's just made a terrible discovery.
Sort of, older.
Yeah.
Sort of an old man, sort of terrified. There is a cancer eating at the Imperium. With each decade it advances deeper, leaving drained, dead worlds in its wake. Oh, shitters. Terrifying.
So today, we're going to talk about the existential threat to the Warhammer 40k universe. Possibly the greatest threat. Possibly the thing that is an even bigger danger to the universe than the demons and chaos.
Orcs.
And that is the Tyranids.
What? Hang on. I say as if I was going to guess that. Never mind. Oh, tell me more.
I thought he was going to say time, entropy. You know what I mean?
That is, well...
Welcome to the deep dive of the lore of time.
As we'll get to, the Tyranids almost kind of are a bit of a metaphor, a literal metaphor for entropy, in a sense. We'll get to it. Just a quick reminder, it's been a long time since the last 40k episode, the one that we did. Warhammer 40,000 is a game system created by Games Workshop way back in like the 80s and 90s or whatever the fuck it first started. And has been trugging along to this day, kind of leading the tabletop gaming as like a big flagship product and is kind of the face of that genre hobby. Grimdark setting that 40k has kind of claimed and created as its own thing. It's futuristic, but it's dystopian, is basically it. The Imperium of Man, as they're called, are this kind of Roman-inspired... Latin and Roman-inspired galactic-spanning empire with this god emperor that sits at the middle of this on Earth in this 40,000 years later from now. And then he has this sprawling empire of all these different worlds and technology that lets them travel between them, which goes through the warp, which is the demon realm, and opens the humans up to this demonic energy. And we have the space marines, the massive, like 10-foot tall armor-clad figures that are the fighters of the Imperium. We've got all these different things. We talked about it a bit last time. You should go back and listen to that episode.
Something about psychics being murdered.
Yes, there were psychics that got murdered.
God Emperor's brain alive.
Yeah,
1,000 every day.
Something like that,
a billion every. It was some fucked number.
I think it was 1,000 a day.
I remember it was like a logistical issue. No, because it was 1 in a billion or 1 in a million people were a psyker, and it's like this is a logistical nightmare.
Psychers are not that common, but
Killing 1,000.
You're the God Emperor.
They have to sacrifice them to the God Emperor.
Yeah, apparently came out September 1987.
87. There you go. I thought it was the 80s, like kind of late 80s. There you go.
First edition was released.
There you go. So yes, that is the super loose vibe. Is there anything else that you guys remember from our last time that you want to throw into this that you think is relevant for setting the scene?
I have no clue what's relevant to the Tyranids. I think they're bug people, but like I know there's like 4 demon gods that live in the demon realm, and there's a bunch of Primarchs who live reign over different Earths, different worlds, and they're the son of the Emperor.
Yep.
And then he didn't know they were the son, and then they who came one day and said, "Hey, I'm your daddy."
Yep, so there was the Primarchs that were the head of the different Space Marine chapters, and then the Space Marine chapters got built after the different Primarchs.
Yeah.
And then the Primarchs all kind of got lost and scattered during the Heresy period. And the future setting that we're in now, the Primarchs are not around due to various factors, which maybe we'll do an episode on one day, but
then there's the Orcs that are very telepathic and very fun. It wasn't in the episode, I just like the Orcs.
The Orcs are cool.
I just like the Orcs. The Orcs are fun.
They think about something and it comes true.
They're so stupid that they're incredibly powerful.
Yep.
God, what a fucking excellent concept.
Their vehicles and technology works because they believe it will. It's fantastic.
So good.
But yes, that is a super loose reminder of the grim dark fantasy that is Warhammer 40,000. And today we are talking about the Tyranids, who are one of the Xenos factions in the game. And they are quite simply insectoid-like bug creatures, kind of halfway between. They're very. A few of their like early units are very clearly inspired by like Alien from the Alien movies. They've got like the classic long chitinous body, big long head with like loads of different claws coming off of their body. Very grotesque and kind of Cthulhu-like in a sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Terrifying, awful.
Yes.
They look like Scyther. You know the Pokemon?
They look like Kha'Zix from League of Legends.
Yeah. Those are all things that are also bug-like.
They look like bugs. Yeah.
Bugs. They're bugs, baby.
Bug boys.
We got bugs.
Praying mantises, but they've got skeletons. I guess that's exoskeletons.
So, to introduce what the Tyranids are, in this grim, distant future, there is one force that stands apart compared to the others, and it is not for its hatred, not for its ambition, but for the fact that it is just simply hungry. Unrelentingly so.
It's me, and I like lunch.
Kirby.
It's Matt before our lunch break.
Kirby.
And
He's an elder god.
It's true.
so the Tyranids are a extragalactic swarm of insectoid xenos, utterly alien in both form and motive. They aren't a civilization, a species, or even an army in the traditional sense. They are a living ecosystem. They are a superorganism composed of countless bioengineered life forms, all connected through a single vast psychic consciousness known as the Hive Mind.
This is sounding very familiar.
What do you mean?
So what?
Halo, the Flood.
Yep.
It's sounding very familiar. Also, kind of like Ender's Game.
Oh yeah. I was thinking of the thing in wow, my brain's not working. The sci-fi that you did recently,
Mass Effect.
Mass Effect, yeah.
The Reapers.
Yeah,
the Reapers all have hybrid. Yeah, that's fair as well.
Every space place is like, hey, what if race, but it's actually cancer?
Yeah. What if
Space
race
cancer.
but bug and hive mind?
Race,
Yeah.
but bug, cancer,
It's a through line,
hive
you know.
mind, destruction, eating.
So the hive mind
Hive mind's
is
scary.
what makes the Tyranids so deadly. Every creature, from the smallest scavenger to the mightiest warbeast, is just a node in this all-encompassing intelligence. It thinks, plans, and adapts on a scale that dwarfs any individual species. Through it, Tyranids act with perfect coordination, without emotion, hesitation, or ego.
Not the way I played them.
I was gonna say, this feels like it would be very like open to like, I am the hive mind, the mind above this army, and I'm going to move my units, and they're dead because the guys shut them. The hive mind has failed.
Yes. Well, you're not wrong. I do like to imagine the hive minds. We'll get to the hive minds a little bit more later, but when I was younger, especially, I used to like to imagine the hive minds as just like a kid controlling everything behind the scenes of the universe. Just like, go bugs, go. But, so Tyranids don't conquer, unlike every other faction in this universe. They just consume. Entire planets are stripped bare, every tree, animal, ocean, and living cell reduced to raw genetic material. This biomass is reabsorbed into the swarm, broken down, and rebuilt into new life forms, ready for the next invasion onto another planet.
Sorry, what? How do you turn an ocean into organic material?
There's bugs in there.
Suck.
If there's life on the planet, there's life in the ocean.
We're talking about, yeah, obviously in the ocean, but are they literally sucking the ocein?
Yep.
Fuck yeah.
What are you 87%?
This even starts to go as far as...
Desire.
It even starts to go as far as, like, even man-made structures will get broken down and ripped apart and just turn to rubble, and then bits of it even consumed and brought in as well.
That's fascinating.
Yep.
Dude,
There's material questions going on here.
Yep. Sick.
Yep. They literally leave behind a barren rock of a planet.
If it's wood, it's carbon. If it's plant, it's carbon. It all goes back to carbon eventually.
I mean, these might not be carbon-based life forms. It could be any.
God fucking willing they are, because it makes the job a lot easier.
That's true.
So,
Presuming they've managed to get nuclear fission down.
I mean, they're breaking things down to the molecular level.
Yeah.
So they as they go, they incorporate useful genetic traits from their prey, and then that means that as they go, they develop further and further, meaning that the longer they fight you, the worse they get. At the center of this process are the Norn Queens, which are massive, intelligent bioforms that serve as both factories and genetic engineers. Hidden deep within the mightiest hive ships, they're responsible for spawning every Tyranid creature and guiding the evolution of the species based on the genetic material they harvest.
So
Tyranid-
are they sentient?
Super sentient.
None of them are truly sentient. All of them are just the one organism.
Are your fingers sentient?
In a way.
Yeah, exactly.
But
The best way that I can put it, and we'll talk about it more later in this episode, the easiest way to think about the Tyranids is that they are all the one organism in the sense where
it's one guy.
it's one thing, right? Like, the mini creatures going out and attacking are almost like the white blood cells in your body. And the Norn Queens are almost like the protein synthesis process of your body. So they're no more sentient than the cells in your body.
Can you have like have they done like trade deals with the Tyranids? Like,
No, God, no.
So is there any talk where they go have a conversation with the Tyranid as an organism?
They do not, like I said at the start, they do not communicate, they don't conquer, they just consume.
So it's almost like a natural force. Like
Yep.
it's almost like it doesn't have any sentience at all.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's why I said it's not really
but they're also
sentient.
intelligent though,
Yeah.
which is kind of terrifying. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very flood. I think it's very flood in that way.
Yeah.
I think you'll cover it, but also I'm interested to know what happens with genetically modified creatures because I don't think that counts. So the Imperium having their like fucked up, juiced up soldiers, you just get the human DNA.
Yeah.
They wouldn't get the upgrades.
Do they get the super soldier serum?
Not quite. Well, because they don't necessarily. Yeah, like they'll just kind of consume the Space Marine and turn him into stuff. We'll get to the genetic modifications later.
Good.
Because it's less of like a flood style. We take over human. We now have a human body controlled by the Tyranids, and more of a These people that we're versing are using lots of flamethrowers to melt us. All right, well, this next wave is going to have a particular chitin that's resistant to fire.
Oh, so it's just... Okay, interesting. Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's more like creating, bioengineering things into their species to make them more effective.
Get downed.
Yeah, basically. So Tyranid warfare is brutal and efficient. They attack in massive waves, often described as endless swarms. Their strategy is simple. Overwhelm with numbers, adapt to resist, and consume everything. From the fast-moving gaunts to the towering carnifexes and psychic hive tyrants, every bioform is specialized for a particular role in battle or digestion. What we will do, if one of you wants to, Matt maybe already has Google Images open.
Yes.
If you want to just type Tyranid gaunt. Actually, no, hang on a minute. No, you've already got something there. The big image you've got on the right there.
This one?
Yep, that is a carnifex. What would you like? How would you describe that, Matt?
They got a top hat? No.
No.
I just saw the little hat bit.
Okay. So he's a feathers bipedal, meaning he's human. My philosophy majors will get that joke. He is 2 legs, his tail out the back, covered in some sort of armor, like padding, kind of. What's that thing? It was like chitin. That's the word. He also has 2 big crab claws as hands, a big scary mouth, like kind of like a Tarrasque mouth, kind of like big spikes as well, huge sharp teeth, and one big horn out of the roof, like a rhino horn. And I can't quite see his back, but it looks like he has huge armor plates on his back, just covering everything. And he's a bit gross, but I think it's because he's been shot a little bit, so he looks a bit rough around the edges. But he's very insectoid, very scary, very like. I get what you mean by piecing together different parts of different animals.
And then, Matt, if you want to search up Hive Tyrant, while Guy describes what a gaunt looks like.
We're getting through these bugs rapid style.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. For a gaunt, picture, if you will, a praying mantis. Then remove the head of the thing. Put a normal human skull, except it's got the screamo band, like screaming skull, like big open jaw mouth. Big lots of pointy teeth, and a pointed purple helmet and epaulets upon the shoulders. They're very well armored little lads. Insectoid body and forearms, legs, and then just sort of a screaming skull head with pointy teeth and little purple accoutrement.
All the better to consume with.
And also, there's little bug guys on the floor that just kind of look like skulls with claws. It's kind of fucked.
There's the rippers. We'll get to them.
Oh, God.
And Matt, you got the Hive Tyrant there?
I do. He is basically a skeletal boy with what looks like an organ kind of gun, a gun that's literally coming out of his hands. There's like a tube from one hand to the other, which is really looks really gross. And he's basically got his 2 arms doing the organ kind of gun thing out the front instead of hands, and then 2 other appendages who look like turn to wings, very like bat-like wings. He has a long tail which looks like a with a little like scorpion at the end, and long, very pointy legs, and a big carapace on his back, and a big horn as well.
Oh yeah.
Why arm person with gun when could arm with arm?
Exactly.
That's terrifying.
Yep, they're awesome.
They're bad. These are bad guys.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I like them. I think they could be good guys.
So a single hive fleet is essentially a migrating supercolony of bioships and creatures, and it can erase all life from a planet in just a few weeks. Yep.
It can?
It can.
It can.
And they rarely come alone. When one fleet appears, others tend to follow, drawn by the faint psychic echo of devoured life.
Weird.
Mm.
Do they have, like, ability to pursue peoples or living things? Do they smell it?
We'll get there.
Excellent. Because I'm already building my bunker in my mind.
The Tyranids don't negotiate. They don't communicate. They don't care. To them, the galaxy is a buffet table, and every living thing is just a biomass waiting to be repurposed.
I appreciate the implication that, therefore, you can just go left to right on the buffet and just eat everything.
Yep.
As if they wouldn't throw you out doing that.
Yep.
Because they will. From experience, they will.
And in the 40k... In the 40k universe, we have seen a large number of hives push through into the galaxy. Push into the galaxy? Huh? What does that mean? We'll have to get to that, won't we? And each of them has pushed one race or another to the absolute brink of extinction before eventually being held back. But here's the real kicker. Everything that we know about them in the lore, because we don't know a lot about the Tyranids in the lore right now, to be completely honest. This might not even be the main force. Some believe that the Tyranid hive fleets we've seen are just the vanguard, a scouting party probing into the galaxy before the true swarm arrives. Which is very Pacific Rim, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that brings us to the next segment, diving deeper. Matt, you get this quote.
Ooh, baby.
It's all part of the same big quote, but I just split it up.
To make it more dramatic, I get it.
So, yeah, exactly. So if you want to kind of keep that, like, the scientist vibe that guy had.
No, this wasn't that bad.
It wasn't quite that bad.
He lost his teeth.
Dude, that was gruff. Still waiting for it to load. Oh, there we go. This horror, this abomination has thought and purpose which functions on an unimaginable galactic scale, and all we can do is try to stop the swarms of bioengineered monsters it unleashes upon us by instinct.
So to understand the Tyranids is to abandon everything you know about war, life, and sentience. They are not from this galaxy. They are not a species. They are just hunger, a cosmic extinction given a form.
Terrifying.
I don't know if I mentioned I should probably refresh people's mind for this one as well. It's very much the intention that the galaxy is the Milky Way galaxy.
Oh,
okay, yeah. We know Earth is.
Yeah, because we've got Earth, and I think last time we talked about the fact that Mars is a thing as well, where there's like a big techno people that come from Mars and stuff. And
I assume the Imperium have it by this point.
Well, yes, but
it's right next to Earth. If they didn't have,
no, like it's there's like a race of tech things that come from Mars, and they're part of the Imperium.
Gotcha.
But
yes,
Mars has become like a big foundries place. Anyway,
there's a lot of iron. Oh, damn, that's true. Real.
Women come from Venus. Tech things come from Mars. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Boys. So the origins of the swarm. The Tyranids hail from beyond the Milky Way. Sorry, I saw that ahead of my script and was like, have I mentioned it's the Milky Way? Yeah. But they are supposedly, because once again we don't actually know, born in the void between galaxies, far beyond even the most distant inquisitorial star charts. Their true origins remain unknown and perhaps is unknowable. But one truth is clear, they have come here not as explorers or conquerors, but as predators. The Milky Way is next on the table. They travel aboard massive biomechanical vessels called hive ships, living starfaring organisms engineered to endure the cold vacuum of space.
And gross.
Yep. And breed the endless horrors of the Tyranid swarm. These vessels move in vast branching tendrils, spreading like an infection across the stars. This was like a great time to send you guys into the chat one image.
I feel like this is what would happen if we weren't the apex predators on the planet, but ants were.
Yep, basically.
Also, they're very ant-based. They're very ant-like.
Well, but like also, they're not. These guys aren't. They come from the void between worlds. Are you sure that that's not what we call unreliable narrator?
100%.
They just didn't try hard enough. I would have found it.
So true.
So, just to give you a super quick idea of how they...
Whoa!
Yep. This is an idea of some of the different Tyranid hive fleets that have entered the galaxy.
Oh, fuck yeah. Sorry, the map is really good.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
That is a kind of a sick map of the galaxy.
Yeah. So that's just a little bit of an idea of like where they just enter from.
I like how someone is this below or is this from the side? I don't know.
It's coming in from below.
Below, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Crazy.
Flat galaxy is.
like galaxy.
Yeah, honestly.
It's the Milky Way. It's in a spiral. If anything comes from below or above, then it's from outside the universe because nothing's up or down.
So true.
Flat galaxy.
So the Hive fleets themselves, it's not like just an army or a fleet, it is an entire ecosystem in these like tendrils of ships. Because it's not like a physical tendril, but it's like these masses of ships kind of forming a tendril almost. So it just looks cool on a map that way, right? Each Hive ship carries reproductive sacs that generate specialized organisms. Warriors, harvesters, scouts, synapse creatures, each grown for a singular purpose.
My biological sacs carry specialized warriors.
Oh, I know they do. They fight so hard, bless them. The entire fleet.
Love the big sacks they have.
Yep, Tyranid sacks, man.
Ooh,
the entire fleet
with their big sacks coming.
act as a single, seamless organism guided by the monstrous psychic intelligence of the hive mind. These hive fleets adapt with terrifying speed. Every battle, every enemy, every biosphere consumed adds to the swarm's genetic library. What doesn't work is discarded. What succeeds is evolved and perfected. Even if a hive fleet is destroyed, another often soon appears, stronger, smarter, and shaped by the failures of its successor. Because if you defeat one tendril of the hive mind, then
it learns.
Another one will come.
So if anything's defeated, I know, we might get to it, but if anything's defeated, is it getting fed back somehow? Like, are they transmitting it back? Because how else do the next lot know that the first lot fucked up?
Well,
they don't
know anything. Never mind. Oh, fucking hive mind! Damn it!
The hive mind know.
If you were able to fight off and stop one of the tendrils of the bigger hive mind that you're fighting, then presumably that biomass that they'd collected would be lost, but all of the memories and knowledge and genetic library that they've stored would be...
They transmit the blueprints back. They put it in the Google Drive.
Exactly.
Is it instant, the transfer across the whole galaxy?
It appears to be.
Yeah. I also just not a complaint, not an issue, just a genuine love. The fact that the idea of 40,000 years from now, we're still using the terms Leviathan, Hydra, Kraken, the sea beasts of old are just fucking here forever.
Well, don't forget, they're all very old Latin and Greek and Roman coded. The Imperium,
true.
remember? So they've got the God Emperor, the Primarchs.
To explain, some of the tendrils that are piercing through the galaxy are named Hive Fleet Leviathan, Hive Fleet Hydra, Hive Fleet Kraken, and I just thought it was fun.
It's cool.
The ocean beasts are back.
Yeah. They are.
Behemoth Gorgon.
No faction can match this relentless of a cycle. The Imperium fights for survival, the Orcs fight for fun, Chaos fight for their gods. The Tyranids, they just simply fight and exist to feed, reproduce, and evolve. That is all. And the cycle goes ever on. So the hive mind and the synapse network we're going to jump into now. What makes them a truly horrifying thing is just how unified each individual hive fleet is. So you've got so as Guy was saying before, you've got on the map a few different ones like Hive Fleet Leviathan, Hive Fleet Behemoth, etc. That is one complete hive mind to itself. Leviathan doesn't share things with Behemoth.
Oh, interesting. I imagine
each one of those is its own superorganism.
So very much like ant colonies.
Yeah.
I imagine that Leviathan's the one that the Imperium are primarily dealing with, judging by its position on the map.
What I will say, just for your two sake, looking at that image I sent to the chat, it's those aren't all happening simultaneously. We'll get it next episode. We're going to do a little bit more timeline-based stuff, and we'll talk about the current timeline of because normally it's one hive fleet comes. It's very like Kaiju Attack in Pacific Rim in the sense where a hive fleet came for the first time and they were like, what the fuck is this? Deploy everything, shoot it. Holy shit, we finally managed to defeat it.
We need to bomb the bugs.
Good thing they're gone now. And then a few years later, another hive fleet arrived. So it's kind of, that's why it's, that's part of the reason we've got the big theory around this is just the forward scouts because it feels very... We defeat one hive mind, a bigger one attacks another part of the galaxy. That one gets defeated, a bigger one attacks, and now Hive Fleet Leviathan is the newest one that is, as you can see on that map, fucking massive.
Yeah, the bottom right little image of it how much it's encompassing the galaxy is a little bit terrifying.
I was going to ask, what if two hive minds intersect, but I guess they don't come at the same time, so that maybe never happened?
They have been known to intersect. They don't fight each other. They wouldn't like coordinate with each other.
They just kind of
Exist in the same space.
Keep off the other lat's turf.
Yeah.
Do they give them? It's like when you kind of know someone but don't really remember their name, so you give them that awkward nod. As you
Yeah,
walk past them,
yeah.
You know.
I think there have been some instances where survivors of a defeated hive fleet have actually, like, merged themselves into a bigger hive fleet.
Okay.
And when they do that, bits of their genetic memory would go into.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that later.
This feels like they're a little overpowered.
They're quite strong. They're quite strong.
I feel like everyone in the 40k universe is overpowered.
Yeah.
And therefore,
So
if everyone's special, no one's special.
so the Tyranids do not communicate in any way, shape, or form. They simply know. Every Tyranid, from the smallest spore to the mightiest bio-titan, yes, they have those, is a node in this vast psychic network known as the synapse. Once again, very much going back to the, like, single organism, this is the synapse of its brain cells, right? This network is directed by this hive mind, which is just a gestalt consciousness that spans light years and binds the swarm into a single will. Lesser creatures act purely on instinct, executing tasks without question. Larger forms, like hive tyrants, as Matt described before, serve as synapse creatures, which bring and, like, channel the hive mind's will like a psychic relay and keeps all of the smaller organisms in line.
That's the guy with bat wings, right?
Yeah. And there's
He's a relay.
It's basically their excuse of going, this army needs generals. How do we make this work on the tabletop? But
He's a relay.
Yeah.
Do they have a thing in the game where if the leaders die, then the little ones...
there's like a whole complex mini game you have to play where you have like a synapse range, and if your mini creatures come out of synapse for whatever reason, then they start to like lose control and just charge random things.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah. So it's like the way you can kind of fight them is by picking out their synapse creatures. And there's a lot of other ones, not just the general, that have synapse ability.
I barely understand the Lord of the Rings rules you taught me the other day. I don't think I can play a mini game while I'm doing it.
Different game. So these beings, as I said, they do not speak. They transmit commands as psychic imperatives, coordinating swarms with inhuman precision. Destroying these synapse creatures... Oh, this is the bit when I already wrote into my script the thing I then just riffed off. But anyway,
excellent.
Destroying these synapse creatures can disrupt the swarm, causing the lesser Tyranids to revert to feral, chaotic behavior. But even that madness is still dangerous for the person that's fighting the Tyranids, and it's not like a bad thing, but because the swarm still remains a threat, and they still have the feral instinct of going, that's my enemy, I attack my enemy. But it's not going to be as well coordinated, it's not going to have the tactical nature to it, and it'll go from like, you get like the zombie horde, where if you camp in the right hallway with the right gun, you can just keep gunning them down as they run through this one hallway, taking the most direct path possible to you. That's how they act outside of Synapse. Within Synapse, they'll start, okay, we can't go through that corridor, so these people are going to climb through this window. These people are going to try and go around. They try to, like, actually encircle you. Yeah. That sort of thing. So now to get into the part that Guy was interested in, now that we've talked, now that's the Synapse and the hive mind, Narvals and Tyranid travel.
Ooh.
Can I one last thing on that?
Yeah, of course.
So the psychic links they'd have between, does that go through the devil dimension?
The warp? No, it does not.
So their psychics more...
We don't know a lot about how it works. All that we know is, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in a future section, the Tyranids are one of the few factions, alongside the Tau, who have absolutely nothing to do with the warp at all.
Nice.
That's like factually stated that they don't have anything to do. Have we seen any Tyranids in the demon dimension?
No, they don't enter it.
Smart.
Okay.
Smart. Very, very fucking
like,
smart.
Nah, I'm not going there.
They're like, yeah, hell's fast, but you know what's faster? Making 4 quadrillion fucking creatures and just sending them out.
They'd be very slow then, I guess.
Well, we'll get to how they move fast and how they do FTL travel.
They do their own FTL travel?
Yep.
You believe.
With bioships.
Woo!
Yep.
They fart really hard and they go fast and light.
Yeah.
Let's get into it, baby. Tell me more.
But so But how does this immense psychic organism move across the stars, you ask?
Whoa, who would ask?
Whoa.
Who could be asking that? Unlike most galactic civilization... I did it again, guys.
You did it again.
This
You
is
ripped
the entire,
straight into the next paragraph.
Anyway, basically, to summarize, my next sentence is just emphasizing that the Tyranids do not use the warp. They avoid its perils entirely, and instead they rely on a strange and rare bioship, which is almost a defenseless, huge vessel, and utterly unique. It's called the Narval. Narvals don't fight, they listen.
What do you mean?
They listen. Using vast clusters of monofilament spines, it scans for planetary systems across unimaginable distances. Once a target is found, the Narval does something no Imperial scientist fully understands yet. It bends space itself, creating a compression corridor using the gravitational signature of the target star.
That's fair. What sort of signals are leading out for, like radio signals?
Radio signals and I guess, yeah.
We spotted possible alien farts like literally a month ago, so it's possible.
I mean, that theoretically bending space around you and making space smaller between the distances is theoretically possible.
Yeah.
By a guy? By an organism? Or by a big fucking engine or a machine of some sort?
Plead the fifth.
Yeah.
They snort the Tyranid cocaine.
What do they say?
Yeah.
What's that quote about
overdrive.
science being so far advanced is basically magic?
Yeah.
That's what I plead.
That's it.
Fucking get out of jail free card.
This allows Hive fleets to move faster than light without warp travel, without demonic interference. Clean, efficient, relentless.
Yes.
However, because they are effectively latching themselves onto the gravitational pull of their target planet and yanking themselves towards it, there is a downside to this, and it's why no one in the Imperium could ever travel to planets using this, because this manipulation of gravity has huge consequences to the target planet.
What?
Who gives a
Planets
shit?
under the gaze of the Narval often suffer from bizarre anomalies long before the fleet arrives. This includes earthquakes, solar flares, rising tides, and gravitational chaos.
Dude, they don't even need to attack. They've already fucked it up.
We also need
Literally. So
gravitational
long
chaos, and we've got all the things on that list.
Yep.
So are we getting attacked by Tyranids? Are they coming?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I'll hopefully be fucking dead before they get here.
So basically, you're saying that they have a weapon they can warp gravity millions or billions of miles away.
They're latching onto it. It's like
We're
grabbing
talking like light years away.
Light years away. That's crazy.
Yep.
Also, it's not a weapon. It's a guy. His name is Bill, and he's very good at his job.
It's Bill the Narval.
Bill
and
the
he does his-
Narval, yeah.
So long before the swarm arrives, a world already begins to fall apart. They become distracted, weakened, exhausted, and just as its defenders reel from all these natural disasters, the sky splits open and spores begin to fall. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Nice.
Jesus
And it also
Christ.
has a really nice thing as well. I'm sure it's kind of one of those things where it's hard to tell if it's deliberately built into them or if it's just a happy coincidence, but it always ends up being that because you've got the planet on like high alert, population centers begin to get very like clustered together from people because it's like, everyone save yourself from the earthquake, save yourself from the tsunamis, get to this safe zone, and just makes it even easier for the Tyranids to just arrive and go, oh look, everyone's all ready for us.
Yeah. It's like an evolutionary sort of like trick where sometimes you see things that happen. Yeah.
Is there any sort of defense against this to be like, no?
Kill them.
Not
Get
that
off the
we've
planet.
seen. Yeah, basically. It is a lot of the
Crazy.
time people are like, yeah, Tyranids run. Just run.
Crazy.
But there are many other things that mean running is not necessarily possible, but we'll get to that shortly. Every part of the Tyranid war engine is intentional, organic, and precise. So, this brings us to the Shadow in the Warp.
I think we talked about that.
I
feel like that
I
sounds
have
familiar.
a suspicion.
The
of,
demons
I have a
in the
question
warp?
of something.
Is that what you mean?
The Warp is the demon realm.
Yeah.
The Shadow in the Warp is what the Tyranids create.
What?
So, while they bypass the warp, they do interact with the warp in a truly unique way. Before the Tyranids are ever seen, their presence is felt. There is no warning, no declaration of war, no light in the dark, only silence. As when a Hive fleet approaches, it does not arrive with thunder or flame, it comes wrapped in something far worse, and that is an unnatural quiet. For whatever reason, the psychic presence of the hive mind overshadows the effect of the warp.
The psychic presence in the normal world,
Mhm.
because the warp is the compressed version of the world, like the upside down.
The warp is just another dimension alongside ours.
But it's the nether, it's compressed.
Yeah,
What do you mean by quiet?
because
No noise in
we
space.
may remember from last
That's what I'm
time.
saying.
Remember from last time, the Imperium of Man. Also, maybe just a quick reminder is due anyway, and it fits into this section anyway. So this is your reminder, everyone.
Woohoo!
The Imperium of Man depends on the warp for everything.
Yeah.
They use it for travel. They use it for communication across the vast distances of space. And they do all of this using the warp and using psychers to communicate through the warp, as we talked about near the start. When the Tyranids arrive, the warp is basically cut off. It's the equivalent of an invading force cutting off all of your utilities and power.
Yeah.
And then you suddenly have no way to communicate, no way of doing anything.
Yeah, that's not great.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a permanent cutoff for that star system, or?
It's a cut-off until the Hive fleet's gone.
I have an additional small question, but I don't know if you're going to answer it or not. Why has no Tyranid ship ever just locked on to the gravity of Holy Terror and just nuked the Imperium like so fucked?
Well, they're intelligent, and they're highly intelligent, but because they don't communicate or have like communications with anyone, they don't know that Holy Terror is a special planet.
They're just
right?
kind of working their way inwards.
They end up targeting important planets because they detect, as they come through the galaxy and have their big detection range, they detect, oh, this is a big planet. And go figure, a planet that you can tell is a big planet tends to be an important planet. But they aren't able to go, all right, we know where the capital of this empire is, you know?
Yeah, surely like the Earth is one of the best kept secrets of the Empire because that's your capital.
Yep.
I mean,
It's also just incredibly well defended. But
it's like trying to target a single building in the middle of like a rising city. It's like there's so much shit, or like a castle. Like a castle in amongst a larger sort of city that rises up to meet it. It's like you're targeting the highest point, sure, but there's a bunch of shit around it.
Yeah, exactly.
And especially for a place that's literally just like do. Ooh, next planet.
Yeah. So, as they approach and communication begins to fail, ships vanish that would be traveling into the warp and suddenly are unable to get to the planet.
Ooh.
And then, silence. This is the shadow of the warp, an overwhelming psychic signal that swamps the minds of mortals and machines alike. It's not just noise, it's psychic static, a billion alien minds and thoughts buzzing like flies in the minds of psychers. It disrupts the travel, it disrupts communication, and strangles the very soul of the star system before the first claw ever pierces flesh. No one knows if the shadow in the warp is a weapon of intent or simply a byproduct of the hive mind's incomprehensible presence, but its effect is undeniable. For humans, it is paralyzing, because even basic humans can kind of feel this oppressive force. For psychers, it is pure madness. Those with psychic potential, the astropaths, the navigators, the voices and eyes and ears of the Imperium, suddenly find their minds overrun. They scream alien words from their tongues were never meant to form. They claw at their skulls as if trying to tear out the swarm itself. Entire planets of seers have been lost this way, drowned in the psychic abyss before a single Tyranid spore has even hit the ground.
Fun.
Yep. It's a really rough universe to be a psyker in, guys. There's just so many things that you can just die from.
I was going to say, being a psyker, it's like benefits, psychic, downsides. Everyone wants to kill you all the time, and if anything goes wrong with the warp, you're also fucked.
My only thing, I'm surprised there's anyone left to fight these guys after they get here. That's the only thing I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'm intrigued now about how the fuck we fight these guys.
Yeah.
My additional thing as well, it's gotta be that the Tyranids are using the warp for, like, psychic communication, right? Like, they're using, like, the silence is them essentially just, like, privating the airspace of just, like, this is my brain zone. Just, like, maybe the intelligence of the thing actually exists in the warp, and the space that it's taking up is, like, a physical bubble.
Well, that was a theory.
It's a big brain.
But then we've seen...
in like a cloud.
That was a theory, but then in heavy air quotes recent, because it's not really that recent anymore, but there was a thing where we saw demons and Tyranids interact for the first time, and they were both completely confused by each other and didn't know what to make of each other, which kind of made everyone think, well, then they can't be anything to do with the warp, because there's no way they could be from the warp and traveling through the warp and not have some messing with the demons. So it's weird.
But like a Tyranid would look different to the intelligence that exists on the demon side.
Yeah.
I'm sure they could be they could look
possibly.
Very different.
Yeah. Like I say, we don't know the answers.
Yeah.
Very quickly, my theory is that it's like someone doing backstroke. Like, yeah, my brain and everything is in the warp, but like my eyes and fingers and everything are above the water here.
Yeah.
So anything I'm sensing is in reality.
If you looked at the back of my head and if you didn't know what a human was, looked to the front of my face and had no interaction between them, you could see that as very different things.
I mean, I can see your ears. They probably kind of give it away, but I understand the metaphor you're going for.
I was putting your metaphor.
No, I totally understand the metaphor. I support it, but sometimes I just got to cut you off at the knees.
Fuck you.
So, for the Imperium, whose vast empire relies on psychic communication to function, the shadow in the warp is catastrophic. Reinforcements are never called. Travel becomes suicidal. Worlds vanish behind a veil of silence, alone and blind in the void. And that is when the Tyranids strike. By the time the shadow falls, the fate of the planet is all but sealed. Cut off, unwarned, surrounded. There is no help coming. The defenders must fight with what they have, or perish in the mouth of the swarm.
Can I ask one question?
Of course.
When the demons and Tyranids did interact, were like bros, or they're just like, we're leaving each other alone? You do your own shit, I'll do my shit, or do they fight?
Yeah, I'll explain now. It ended up being this really weird interaction where they had this endless fight, but both sides were losing, because demons fight for the pleasure of their god, and they only succeed by giving their gods pleasure and like crushing souls for their gods, right? The Tyranids are like soulless nodes. There was no killing the Tyranids was pointless to their gods. So the Chaos Demons were just kind of failing because they were losing demons and not gaining anything out of it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Tyranids would kill a demon and then the demon would disappear and they couldn't harvest any biomass from it. So it turned into this really bad, like, negative attrition battle where both sides were just losing.
That is a lose-lose.
Yep.
So at the end of it, like, fuck, there's no point there's no point fighting.
Eventually, I think the demons left that planet because they had the ability to go, all right, well, we'll just leave. And then the Tyranids just kept having the rest of the planet.
Good. I was going to say, minor clarification, you said the Tyranids never went to the warp, so I assume the demons are somehow not in the warp.
Yeah.
Cool, sick.
Demons are often not in the warp.
That's true, actually, yep.
They often like to come in and go, hey, humans.
Because they're motherfuckers.
And then there was another time, we'll get to it in the timeline episode, there's another time where some demons come through the warp going, I swear to kill this planet. And then they arrive at the planet and the Tyranids are already conquering the planet. And they're like, oh, no, you fucking don't. And like throw down with the Tyranids. And then you get
let them have it. Dude, it's not worth it.
It's not even let them have it. It's just like, well, that's my... listen, that was my basketball. That is covered in ants. It's the ants basketball now.
Right. Nearly through this first episode. One more quote. Guy, we can go back to you.
Yes. Please give me another quote.
This is the end of our quote we've been following.
Is the scientist.
It's still the scientist. He's more out of hope now, though.
We are
He's not that sexy.
Dead. We're so dead.
He's not that sexy. The scientist was not that sexy.
We have given the horror a name to solve our fears. We call it the Tyranid race. But if it is aware of us at all, it must know us only as prey. That's why they call me the one-take wonder.
Yep. The Tyranids are not an army, not a species. They are the superorganism.
That's what they call me, baby. The superorganism.
They do not conquer, they do not parlay, they do not build empires, they consume. And with every world devoured, they grow smarter, stronger, more unstoppable. Each hive mind that has entered our galaxy has done so from a different direction. This suggests they come not from one place, but from many. It is entirely possible that entire galaxies have already been lost, and that the Tyranids are making their way across from these other galaxies. The Tyranids are not the beginning of an invasion, they are the end. And that's the end of part 1.
Yahoo! God damn!
What are we talking about in part 2, Jude?
Part 2, we will touch on combat and war of the Tyranids and what their actual invasion looks like and the different steps they go through in this, like, yummy eating planet. And
3-course meal they have.
Yeah, and then we'll talk about a little bit of a timeline.
I am going to need some extermination tips on these lads.
Yeah, we'll get there. But yeah, that's the Tyranids. I don't think this isn't a Patreon suggestion. This is just me being
having fun.
What's the word? Having fun. Yeah,
sometimes we do that. Sometimes we do actually.
Sometimes we have to do things for ourselves.
Yeah, this is like when I did the Tress of the Emerald Sea, when it's like, oh shit, I need an episode and I don't have any time. I can just lock in and write a script on this thing that I know well already.
Yeah, I've always thought the Tyranids. Whenever I never looked at the Tyranids only when people are playing, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Actually, they were bug boys.
Yeah,
I didn't know they were a fucking horrific metaphor for entropy.
Yep,
for destruction, inevitable death.
I think we should have a bug episode. There's a lot of good fantasy bugs out there.
There is.
We should do more bugs.
Do you want to thank our sponsors, Matt?
But if you like fantasy bugs, you should get on our Patreon. There's not any bugs there, so I don't know why you would, but there are minisodes and scripts to enjoy. And as well, you get a special name in Discord and some other stuff, and we've got a cool community. And if you want to be part of that, join the Discord. Our
minisodes are little lore leaflets where we talk about small bits of lore that won't encompass really a full episode, and we have fun with them. So, join today, and thank you so much to our current lore keepers, our prestige lore keepers, a Chunky Monkey, American Recluse, Blitz Bandit, Bong the Bard, Josh from Maine, Metalhead Swifty, and Shadow. Thank you so much, and thank you so much to our novice lore keepers. Keep up the training. Thank you to Brianna, Dan Dubs, Hooligan, Jacob from Norway, Josh 2, Leon, Loading Name, and Luke Nukem. I'm sure with training you will soon become prestige. You know?
But no pressure to you're awesome being novice, don't listen to that.
But Luke do Nukem. So he's already like a black belt, I assume. If he's got the Nukem, like Duke Nukem, but Luke Nukem, like the...
It's his younger brother.
I'm trying to figure out where to go with this.
It's his younger brother,
and if you're trying to figure out where to go with this, the number of stars you give us are the number of directions from which the Tyranids won't eviscerate your planet.
That's so true.
You can only have 5 because there's no protection. They will come for you.
They will come.
I will come.
I'm gonna come. The number of stars that you rate us on Spotify, please rate us. We really appreciate it. The number of stars that you rate us is the amount of hive fleets you have under your control.
Ooh, the number of stars you rate us is the number of big fuck off Titan models you get to play with on the set on the tabletop.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I was looking at mid game. What's the biggest model? I just like big models on the table.
Yeah.
It's like looking at the Bio Titan, which is fucking
the Hierophant's
massive.
Fucking awesome. Yeah,
dude, is so big.
Why is it doing doggy style?
It is has its ass in the air.
It is ready.
It is ready for doggy style.
Damn. But let's all together as we realize now what the endless natural disasters we had were coming as gravity fails us and we float away from this planet, the earthquakes take us, and finally as the bugs rain from the sky, I think we say good night.
And as the Tyranid hive mind wakes you from your slumber, as the planet begins to fall to earthquakes and storms, look across the dinner table at your family and say, good afternoon.
Brave family.
As the silence reigns over your world and all the psychics begin to go mad, screaming in their alien tongues, you look up to the sky and say, sayonara, Tyranids.
More like sayonara planet.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's...
Yeah,
dude,
man.
I was looking up. I'm like
bugs in my skin.
I was looking at a lot of bugs. I was looking at like what is hive mind? What's a hive mind in real life? And I found out today that hive minds don't really exist in real life.
Bees, ants.
Bees communicate by dancing, so they do have to communicate with each other. Ants communicate through pheromones. There are methods of communication. Like a hive mind, they have one brain instead of. That's just like working together.
How can a bee not be a hive mind? What the fuck is hive in the hive mind there for then?
I mean, they all work together. They're like, you call it a hive mind, you call a group project a hive mind.
Okay, I'm gonna fucking vibrate on your queen then, bitch.
That's
Okay, I'm going to vibrate on your queen is the best threat I've ever heard from you.
That's crazy.
Have you
Actually
not
insane.
seen honeybees go up against each other?
Actually insane. I don't even know what to have to say.
If there's
to that.
two different like hives that go up against each other, the honeybees will like cover the opposing hive's queen
Really?
and vibrate and literally overheat them to death.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's nuts. Bee warfare is crazy.
Yeah.
We're so cut off at this point, but I'm just going to tell you.
That's fucking
honeybee
terrifying.
warfare. Maybe I do a honeybee warfare lore.
Dude, there was some video. I went through like a whole.
That's
There was
fucking insane.
there was a period in my life where YouTube kept giving me videos that was just like different beehives fighting.
It's like
And then
he's bored of the Romans. He's bored of the historical stuff. Let's give him bees.
Yeah, and then there was another one I just have vividly in my mind that was like 6 Japanese hornets going after like a honeybee hive, and it was wild.
Yeah. No, I also remember because there was a thing about keeping beehives where one of the things for beekeepers was if you ever see queens, like you have to destroy the eggs. But if a second queen ever manages to actually quote unquote spawn, grow.
Yeah.
The bees essentially turn into 2 factions and start warring in their own. Like bee politics,
It's wild.
crazy shit. It's so cool.
How do they decide?
They just do it because they're a hive mind. They all understand what's going on.
No, that's not how
Hive mind, baby. Fucking got him.
It's not how hive mind.
This is the cold open. We thought we were already finished. We're done here.
I'm on Reddit. Hive minds don't exist as they do in sci-fi movies. Okay.
Thank you for listening to Living by the Law. If you enjoyed our podcast, please leave a review, tell your friends, and if you're feeling extra generous, become an official lawkeeper by joining our Patreon today. Follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at Living by the Law. All links are in the description, and thank you in advance. We have been, and always will be, living by the law. Thank you for your company, and good night.